I'll be honest. To me, you guys don't look like TV show like people. Like, and
What does that mean?
I say this as a compliment because you guys don't look like TV people. Like, I look like a TV person, like a couch potato. But like, you guys don't seem like TV people. If that, like, I'm saying this in a compliment. I'm not dissing anyone. Okay.
I'm straightly dissed.
You guys look like y'all read a lot more than you watch TV. So, What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Backrow Boys. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, the sweetheart of Dallas, Evie Matthew, and I'm with my Backrow Boys, Chris, the Nation Matthew, and we got Stan, the screwdriver Phillip. How you doing, buddy? How's everyone doing out there? Everyone doing good?
Sweetheart. What did you say? Sweetheart of Dallas?
Yeah, the sweetheart of Dallas.
That's a new one.
I don't think anyone's ever called you that. Not even your mom.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think I don't have a heart, but they definitely don't think it's sweet either.
Why'd that be Ebby's new nickname that sticks?
No, I was watching a long time ago. I think it was at the ESPYs. Do y'all remember when Drake and Blake Griffin did that video?
The one with the Will Ferrell, or no?
I don't know. I think it was before that. Like Drake and Blake was doing like a Drake and Blake kind of competition.
Oh yeah, I remember Drake and Blake.
And then Chris Brown.
He's like, no, it's supposed to be Blake and Drake.
Yeah. And then Chris Brown jumps in and he's like introducing the whole thing. It's like, hey guys, I'm Chris Brown, sweetheart of America. And I think at this time he just like beat up Rihanna too. So yeah, the touchy topic.
Man, Drake is pretty funny. I've seen have y'all seen ones where he like goes on the street and he'll ask people like, hey, like what do y'all think of Drake? And they'll be like, oh, he fucking sucks. And he was like, yeah, fuck Drake. And then he'll like take off his beard and stuff.
And he pulls out his gun.
Dude, I love those undercover things. Those undercover ones are awesome. So I saw the Drake one. Most recently, I don't know if y'all saw this or not. Jimmer Fredette, he went back to BYU. And he walked onto like one of the walk-on practices and he was just like destroying everybody. And then he was like, guess what, guys? It's me, Jimmer Fredette. And they're like, who the fuck are you? Because he's not that famous, right? Yeah.
Jimmer Fredette is still alive?
That's cool. Huh?
Jimmer Fredette's still alive?
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's super old. Then I was watching old highlights. He's like, oh, that's like 10,
he's that old?
Years ago now.
I thought he'd be like 30s.
I think he's like mid-30s, but like he looks old. He looks like he's in like his 50s.
What's his name? Did that too? Eli? He did that.
Chad Powers.
Chad Powers.
He looked like his makeup stuff. It looked good, but also looked terrible at the same time. I was like, my God.
Yeah, it did.
He looked like an old version of Trevor Lawrence. I was like, my God, who's this guy?
And then when he was trying to rip it off, he was like struggling so hard to get that shit off.
Hey, we should do something like this one day in the street. Just go out there and ask people what their thoughts on Backrow Boys. It'd be like 100 people saying, who?
So I saw one. It was like when Deshaun Watson was like, he just won the national championship and he's going to the draft. And he went to like a random campus and he started interviewing people. But he wasn't wearing any costume or anything. He was interviewing himself. And people are like, yeah, I love college football. My favorite player is Deshaun Watson. He's like, oh, okay. And then like it's literally Deshaun Watson. You can't even tell, but you know they're like BSing.
Oh dang! I feel like I've seen that one, but
I feel like I've seen that one too.
Yeah, I mean the amount of makeup they go through. They put like a plastic nose, plastic face, like fake hair and stuff like that. Like man, I mean, I thought, I don't know if you guys saw have you seen what Jimmy Butler looks like recently? I don't know if you guys seen his new dreads.
Oh my God.
Dude, I thought he was playing like a joke or something. I thought he was doing the little like dress up or like face thing. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? But apparently it's just Jimmy Butler with a new haircut and like a clean shaved face. Like to me, man, I'm not trying to be a hater, but it was one of the worst haircuts I've ever seen on anybody ever.
Hey man, I've seen some of your haircuts though. I've seen some of your haircuts.
Hey, as long as it doesn't go to our barbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy though. Like, but I think he's doing it for like to make a scene. Like he knows he's doing it like because the people are gonna get mad. But,
yeah.
Can we show a picture for the video watchers of this like nasty ass haircut? Anyone have it pulled up?
Yeah,
it's literally like clean shaven and he's like dreads. They're not even all in the same direction. They're just like.
Again, I'm not being a hater when I say this, but he literally looked like an Avatar character. Like he looked scary as hell. Oh my God.
Hey Jimmy. Hey gosh.
God, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
I feel like if he had a beard, it wouldn't look that bad to me. I don't like clean shave at all. Clean shave always.
I'm probably sure the internet's gonna be, or the viewers are gonna be mad when I say this, but I've never noticed Jimmy Butler's teeth. It's like pretty bad. Like it's all chipped, like it's all crooked.
Really?
You know who's pretty bad teeth? Steph.
Oh, yeah.
Have y'all noticed that?
Steph Curry has that space.
Yeah, I mean, like, you make so much money, like, get your damn teeth fixed, right?
Bro, that's the same thing with Michael Strahan. He makes so much money, he doesn't want to fix, because I mean, I guess for him, that's his thing or whatever, you know?
Hey, look up Steph Curry teeth. Steph Curry teeth.
Right there.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah,
I'm
Not
not
that bad, but
some people feel
You can see that space right there.
yeah. But some people say if you fix your teeth or whatever, it's like you're not being true to yourself or something like that. Like it's like a like keeping yourself real or something like that, or keeping yourself like more genuine. I don't know. But
hey, dental health is very important. You know, dental health is probably the most important health.
Yeah, fuck
But
that.
this
I'll
is-
get if my teeth are fucked up, I'll get braces. I would do everything if I could.
I mean, dude, I had braces twice in my lifetime.
Oh God.
You know, I had braces for 4 years, but my teeth weren't even that bad.
You
Like, I had it from 7th grade to 10th grade. I had braces.
Oh man, that's a long time.
That's how this great smile.
Ding.
Ding. I'm gonna edit that in, right?
Yeah, you should put the little shiny like glare thing that they do.
Now, the only
That'd be cool.
thing is my teeth are like a little brown or yellow because I drink a lot of coffee.
I did too. But apparently if you drink it through a straw, it'll like prevent the stains, whatever. And also
Are you drinking coffee through a straw? You drinking hot coffee through a straw? You're crazy, man.
No, for real, I'm not, because they do say red wine and black coffee does stain your teeth, and I always got scared of that stuff. But those are the two things I love the most. So it's hard for me to just give that stuff, and I can't drink out of a straw either. So it's a kind of a weird. But so
why can't you drink out of a straw?
I learned. Remember, Chris, when we used to be roommates, we watched that show on MTV.
Guy code.
Guy code, dude.
Guy.
Said a man should never drink out of a straw, like a alcoholic beverage or like Coca-Cola or whatever. Like you should always drink it straight from the glass. That's like the guy code. You should never drink out of a straw. So
yeah, no, I remember. Oh, well, the only thing I drink out of a straw is like soda and stuff, because I don't know. I just the carbonation sometimes I'm like, eh. But yeah, I remember watching that and I stopped drinking from a straw too. For a little bit.
I think Yumi went out that night. We took the straws and just threw it out. Like,
so y'all don't even eat bananas then, huh?
So I have to eat a banana in private.
In the bathroom.
I go to the bathroom.
You can just break it in half and eat it.
You know the weird thing?
Who the hell does it like that?
The top of the banana, whenever I peel a banana, I can't ever eat the top part. I always got to break that part and throw it away. I don't know why.
I do that, but the opposite. Like, I'll eat the top, but then I never eat the bottom. Like, I'll throw the bottom away.
Yeah.
I don't know why it is.
So you,
I feel the bottom's so dirty. But
say
actually, it doesn't make sense because it should be the most protected, right? Because it's like, it's the very bottom and all the covering on it.
Well, here's a fun fact too. Did y'all know that if you ever watch a monkey open a banana, he doesn't open it the way we open it. He actually goes from the bottom, and that's how he opens it. Just
Have you
fun.
ever seen you eat a banana and you eat it regularly?
No, I eat it like a monkey.
I'm calling you the monkey.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's go back to the haircut topic. So I have a quick story. So when I was, oh God, what year was it? I think it was 2011, maybe 2010. So at this time I was like, I don't know what I was doing with my hair. I had no really like hair sense or whatever. So I was just, letting it grow, and it started like getting like kind of like there's like locks coming out or like kind of curling at the end. And so I was just like, oh, whatever, I'll just leave it. And then I'm not gonna name any names, but one of our friends was like, dude, I can cut your hair, and I can like make it look badass and kind of give you a fade or whatever. And at that time I wasn't going to any like barbers or anything to give me like fades or whatnot. I trusted this guy. And dude, he literally just started like going just everywhere like a lawnmower. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? He ends up just spiking my hair up. Like it's all like faded out here. And it's just like this big blowout. Like you guys remember Pauly D? And it was literally that.
Jersey Shore.
And I was just like, oh my God, like, why did he just do this? Because I'm not, at that time too, I was like really nervous to do like, things outside the box or whatever. And so I was just like, oh my God, I guess I just kind of embrace it. So I went over to our friend Tony's house. This is like a long time at his parents' Garland house. So I go to Tony's house and literally I'm like, okay, I'll just be confident and just rock this haircut. And it's like, imagine if you guys, the BRB universe, if you guys could imagine, I had like a Pauly D hairstyle. I walk in on all of our friends there. It literally went silent, like dead silent. Everyone just started staring at me. And then all of a sudden they just bust out laughing. I was like, oh God, what have I done? I went outside to my car and drive back home. I was like, I should never do this again.
I'm never leaving my room again.
I'm never in my room again. And then I think I just buzzed the whole thing off. And then I was like, I'll just start over. Who cares? But yeah,
Dang, do you have any pictures?
man, I feel like I had a picture. I can't find it. I had to, if I can find it on my phone, I'll just send it to Stan or whatever. But yeah, but you know, I feel like I do. It's somewhere on my phone or whatever. But like, no, but I'm telling you, that was like one of my worst haircut stories. Like that's one thing. When I saw the Jimmy Butler thing, I was just like, yeah, this is a terrible decision he made. But you guys have any crazy stories like that?
I feel like me, not really, because I feel like you can't do too much to my hair, right? The very, very basic. I used to go to Supercuts, and my parents would always give me the regular boys cut. And I would just get the basic ass haircut. I didn't have a beard or anything, so just kind of imagine that. Then when I got into high school, I think y'all took me to a barber, and we all got like fades one time. And that was the very first time I had fade. I remember I got a fade. And then, like, I think back then I had so much dandruff, and I had a big spot of, like, dandruff on my head. And I remember Abby's like, "Oh my God, we fucked up. Like, why do we let him get this haircut?" But then again, I think I used like some coconut oil that went away. But then I had like that like fade for the longest time. I think towards senior year, I started doing the faux hawk. You know, I think that was kind of the trend. Everyone kind of would spike their hair up. I still kind of have a little bit now. But I never got into, I feel like my hair never grew long enough to where I could do like a man bun or anything crazy. So this has been my hair for the past like 8-9 years. Like
Dang.
Nothing has really changed. So my style is completely the same.
I can't imagine you with the man bun.
Yeah, I really wanted to, but my hair doesn't go long. Like I feel like if my hair grows, it gets very puffy. Like I'll get like a mini bro.
Yeah, you have pretty thick hair, right?
Yeah, I have thick hair, but yeah, I wish it got long and I could do like things with it. Like it'd be cool to have like long, like curly hair, but all like my family and stuff, they all have long curly hair. Besides me, I have like thick straight hair. But man, bullshit.
Lucky bastard.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do the little like the line there, but I decided to cut that out too, or the hard part.
Chris, I feel like you had like for a while you did the long hair look, right?
Yeah, I feel like I've tried like every haircut. I've had like faux hawk, mohawk, had long hair. I had the part too. I remember one time I got the part and I saw this video on like Instagram or back then maybe it was like MySpace, where the dude like he took it from like here all the way to the
oh my God, I remember
his
that
crown. So I went to this barber in Denton. I'm not gonna say his name because you know some people here still go to him, but he took he took the line and he just left it like right here. And like, you know, I'm getting the haircut and I'm not like, I can't see the back of my head. And he's like, "Oh bro, it looks good." And I go to like go hang out with people just like Abby did, and they were like, "What the fuck? Like, you look like you just had like brain surgery. Like, it's just like stuck right there." So that happened, and then I have another story where, or sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, I said I was gonna. I remember that like vividly. So
yeah, so never did that again. But I remember me, Toby. I think Abby, you were in India too, but I don't think you came back for tournament. Remember that one year we all went to India? Me and Toby came back like the day before tournament. I think. Did you come back too, or did you come back later?
I remember I flew back the day after you guys because you guys were playing when I flew in or whatever. So
okay, because I remember you were at tournament.
Yeah.
So me and Toby like we landed, and then I think me, Toby, and Stan went and got a haircut. We went to the guy that I think Stan goes to now, right? I think it was the same dude, or was it someone else?
I forgot who we went to. It was either him or it was like the Indian guy whose house we used to go to.
Shibu.
I'm pretty sure Shibu was actually a pretty good haircut or a barber, but this guy, I mean, not saying the Arabian guy is not good, but I remember we went to him and we all got like the same haircut, but it all looked different. So Stan, you had like one edge up. Toby had both edge ups and I had no edge ups. I was like, what the hell? And then I remember me and Toby, our head was full of dandruff. Like it was like so white. And I think me and Toby got our haircut first. And then Stan comes on, his head is even worse than ours. We're like, you're in America. How is your hair so full of dandruff? Like at least we were in India, you know, like India, they don't got no shampoo or conditioner back then.
Yeah, man, I started using the head and shoulder. Remember when we used to have nair parties? You remember that?
Oh, I remember that.
Nair parties, dude.
Dude, it's crazy because we thought like the viewers, like us as Indian men, we're very hairy. So the big thing is we wanted to be at peak athletic shape when we played in these tournaments, right? So we thought, hey, the less hair we have, the more smooth we're going to be kind of gliding through, right? No, like air resistance on us, right? I think that was at least my philosophy. I don't know if y'all just wanted to look good, but that was my philosophy, is trying to get that maximum kind of efficiency for the most part. But I remember we used Nair. I think it was like on our legs and stuff, and I didn't know you're only supposed to leave it on for like 5 minutes, but I think we left it on for like 30 or 40 minutes, and then we're like, why the hell is our like legs burning? And then like we like wiped it off, all the hair came off, but like all our like legs were like red, like it looked burnt. I was like, and then we learned.
Yeah, I don't think any of us Nair anymore. Like I think we're away from those chemicals.
No, I'm telling you, like the Nair probably thought, like, okay, well, I got the hair, but why am I still here? I guess I'm gonna go through the skin. So,
there's so much hair here.
yeah,
would y'all ever consider like laser hair?
I would like to, and I mean, for the viewers out there, I'm just like what Stan said, I have a very hairy back, and so for me, it's like I would love to laser the hell out of that thing. Like I just want to.
Man, we're being so vulnerable today.
Because I get so irritated, because like even something when I'm like sitting like and I'm doing work here, I'm like literally like just doing this all the time, like why am I so itchy? And I'm like, oh, it's the hair kind of poking through the damn shirt. And so like so stuff like that bothers me. I'm like, oh, so every like 2 or 3 weeks I like just get my wife to just trim it down.
That's a good wife. Now I'm like pretty lucky. I don't have any back hair. Like it's crazy.
That's the best feeling.
What about that front hair though?
Yeah, front hair is crazy. I can't see it.
I'm the same way. Like my back, really, I don't have hair besides kind of my upper back, but my front is like crazy. Like not crazy hairy, but like if I don't like take care of it, it'll grow. So I definitely want to get like I would get laser hair, because if you look at all these like super athletes, like The Rock and like everyone that's jacked, they have no hair on their body. Like they did like laser hair. So it's like, of course, I don't have a body like that. But again, even if I did work out, it just makes your body just look a little bit better too.
Yeah, you look better when you shave, I feel like.
Yeah, and everything looks more smooth. And also they've also said like if you like take care of like your hair and stuff, like if you trim it properly, like it's like less like body odor and stuff like that. So when you actually do like use your body wash or bar soap and stuff, like apparently it gets like into your skin. I just noticed if I control the hair more, I just smell a lot better. So but that's just me. So I mean, to me, back hair versus chest hair, I'll keep my chest hair all day. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I'll definitely mix that out. So if I had like a bracket type of thing, if those are one of the options, I'm definitely picking chest hair over back hair any day.
Dang, dude, I would agree with that.
I mean, since we're talking about brackets a little bit, like I feel like I'm gonna pass it over to my boy Chris, because I feel like he has a nice little presentation for us, a little game. For us.
Oh yeah, let me just share my screen. Start this meeting. I'm just kidding. Oh wait, so it's still on Steph Curry, but we can change that over.
Oh, Steph Curry.
Oh my god.
Wait, can y'all see this your sharing screen thing on the top too, or no?
Yes, I can see it. Oh, I mean, I can't see your part.
It looks good. It looks good. I just see the tabs at the top.
Let me just X that out real quick. Good thing it's not anything inappropriate. All right. Well, today we're gonna do a little Backrow Boys. I guess like a little March Madness. Even though March Madness is months away. But this is going to be a little, so we're going to basically play like a bracket game. It's 16 teams. And as you can see, these are all TV shows. So we all, put in 5 different shows that we like, or, our popular shows that, the fans like. And what we're going to do is going to be like a best of 3 series for each game. So, each of us have our own vote on which show that we think is better out of the 2. And then we're going to go all the way to the finals and see who's a champion. So I guess before we start, who do y'all think is going to be the winner?
Wait, before we start, I just want to know who made these seedings, because like I know some people with Friends being 14 seed, One Tree Hill being the 11th seed. Modern Family, I'll give that a 1 seed. That's a good 1 seed. But Fresh Prince being the 16th seed, come on, Chris. Come on, Chris.
And Dragon Ball Z being 9.
Yeah,
crazy.
It beat out all those, and everyone loves number 5.
Dragon Ball Z is good. Y'all don't think Dragon Ball Z? I think Dragon Ball Z is like at a 9 level. That's a good ranking for it. Y'all can appreciate these animated shows. It's not just like regular.
It's
animated
good,
shows
but
are regular.
Compared to these shows, I don't know, but these are all randomized fans. You know, if you're thinking this is not my thoughts on these shows, so please don't kill me in the comments.
Man, we got some hard hitting matchups the first round. Like some crazy matchups. Oh no, I was just saying I'm looking at the matchups just for the first round. Like Game of Thrones versus Breaking Bad. Like that's almost like a finals matchup.
That's a
How I Met
finals
Your
matchup.
Mother versus Friends. Like that's a crazy matchup too. That's like a that's like a 3 and a 2 seed going head to head, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Man, that's crazy. This is all randomized too. You know, it's like it was meant to be these battles.
Dude, one of the biggest battles I'm looking at right now, the King of Queens versus the Power Rangers. My goodness, this is a power struggle right there. My goodness,
dude. If King and Queens and Boy Meets World, or George Lopez, that's not a bad matchup in the second round.
That's crazy.
We'll see. I mean, all right. Well, y'all want to get started? I was thinking if we do predictions, does that kind of ruin it for us, or do y'all think? I guess we could just say it too.
No. We'll say predictions. We'll just go through them.
Yeah, let's go through it. All right. So should we start off with the Modern Family versus Fresh Prince? So cool. Brings up this little thingy.
So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to start off and I'm going to tell you guys why I'm picking the one I want. So I have seen both these shows. I'm in love with both these shows. I feel like I've learned a lot of life lessons from these shows as well. But I will say this. So so Fresh Prince is like centered on obviously Will Smith's character and like his like everyday life and his like, you know, when he gets in trouble or good days or bad days, whatever, right? So it's pretty much centered on him, but then his like supporting cast is like Uncle Phil and Jeffrey and Carlton, all these guys, right? Which is great, but the main story is just about Fresh Prince. Modern Family, what I do like about it, and the older I've gone, I realize like I do like multiple stories and multiple things intertwining with each other. From the first episode of Modern Family, you see 3 separate families, and you don't even know why there's 3 separate families, what's the connection. And then towards the end of the episode, you realize, oh my God, they're all siblings or related to each other, or, you know, parents and children or whatever. So, and I like that throughout the last, 10 seasons of Modern Family, it was just like different storylines and they went through different ups and downs and stuff like that. So that all being said, I love both shows, no knock on either one, but I'm going to go with the number 1 seed, Modern Family. That's me, boys.
Boom. First score of the day.
Well, I'll go next. This is a very, very tough battle. Again, I've seen both of those shows. I haven't seen the entirety of Modern Family, but I've seen the entirety of Fresh Prince, right? Because again, Fresh Prince was not much older, but definitely a lot older. So when we were growing up, that's what was on TV. I believe Nick at Night or Nickelodeon is what Fresh Prince was on. Modern Family was on ABC, if I'm not mistaken, or kind of one of the mainstream channels, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
ABC Family? The way I'll kind of explain it is, let's use like a basketball analogy, right? So as Ebby was saying, Modern Family has a big variety of pieces, multiple kind of storylines, multiple families. Let's think of it like the San Antonio Spurs, right? They're not a super team, but they got a couple pieces here and there. They're a well-oiled machine, and they can keep the kind of ball rolling, right? Fresh Prince, it's really about one man. His name is Will Smith. I don't know what his middle name is, but Will Smith. But,
John.
We can relate him to the 2009 Cavaliers. So LeBron James, he kind of carried that team, carried that franchise, carried that show to the promised land. And in a scenario like this, it's not about championships. It's about kind of getting those viewers, getting those highlights. And we got to go with Fresh Prince here, because Fresh Prince, Will Smith's bringing those bangers every single episode, day in, day out. He's the one that makes that show, and when he has an up game, the show is up. When he has a bad showing, the show is not going to be as good. But more often than not, he's had great showings. There's probably only a few handful of bad Fresh Prince episodes. I'm sure there's a lot of Modern Family episodes y'all don't even remember, right? Because they're just whatever.
I remember.
Man, that's tough. That's both y'all had really good arguments there. Man, yeah, y'all brought some good points. I think for me, both shows are great. Modern Family, like I love Phil. I love like just the whole dynamic. I mean, Phil is he's so good and so funny. And like his just relationship with his wife and the way they like joke about it and stuff, and then like his relationship with Sofia Vergara is funny. Like he's always like trying to hit on her or think she's hitting on him. So that's always funny. But man, Fresh Prince, like I think like what Stan said, like I love like a superstar, like a mega star that like transcends generations, and I think that's what Will Smith is. Like people know Fresh Prince even that are like born in the 2000s. You know, Fresh Prince or Will Smith is known for that even to this day, right? Like people still watch it. It's still on Nickelodeon. So to sum it all up, I'm gonna give it to Fresh Prince. So that gets my vote, y'all.
Oh my God, the 16th seed beat the 1 seed. It's like when UMBC won.
Biggest upset ever.
It's a huge upset.
All right, dang, that's crazy. On to the next one. Dragon Ball Z and Friday Night Lights.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys my pick. I obviously love football. I love when sports are integrated with like TV shows and stuff. It's just fun drama and fun sports interactions. Big fan of that stuff. Dragon Ball Z, I never got into Dragon Ball Z, and I'll tell you guys why. Because I didn't grow up with cable, and I felt like Dragon Ball Z was only on cable. But the only time I did get to watch an episode or two was on what's the Spanish channel, Telemundo.
That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, because I would always watch it in Spanish. I'm like, I don't understand what they're saying. What kind of show is this? But I kept on watching because it was a cartoon. But now I was like, man, this show sucks. I hate this thing. But throughout the years, I know all the Dragon Ball Z, like the Hame Hame Hame. I know the green people.
Kamehameha.
Whatever the hell it's called.
Cancel this guy.
But on this one, I'm gonna make it real quick and sweet. I'm going with Friday Night Lights because Dragon Ball Z, in my opinion, sucks. Okay, cancel me. Cancel me.
All right, Stan.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, I'm, of course, the viewers, if you don't know, I'm a big anime fan. I love anime. One of my favorite animes, of course, is actually not Dragon Ball Z. I love Dragon Ball Z. The number one anime is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. My Hero Academia is still going on. Keep watching that. But again, I actually just put Dragon Ball Z on here because I feel like if we did this TV show bracket, we needed to have some animated or cartoon anime representation. But that being said, Dragon Ball Z is one of the, if you go and ask many people about anime, they'll either say Pokemon or Dragon Ball Z. We really don't talk about Digimon there. But again, between these two shows, I'm gonna also have to go with Friday Night Lights. Friday Night Lights is probably the hands down best sports TV show out there. Coach Taylor, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Is it still on Netflix? Y'all know?
Yeah, I think so. I saw it the other day. Yeah.
So fun fact, I only watched I think the first 3 seasons. I think when he went to a new school with Michael B. Jordan, I actually didn't watch that season. I feel like I watched everything else besides kind of that one season, but it was a great show. So maybe I'll go back and watch it, but it's awesome.
Dude, dang! I thought you were for sure gonna go Dragon Ball Z, so that was a upset game 2 right there. But
I feel like I had to. I put it on there for my anime representation, but again, I'm actually at the end of the day unbiased, and I'm gonna go with the better show.
Hey, respect, dude. No biases here. Yeah, I mean, Friday Night Lights I've watched that show 2 times in a row, and I like Dragon Ball Z. Like Goku is like one of the cooler anime characters to me. Like Super Saiyan, like that's the shit. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing I don't like about some anime shows is like I hate how dragged out it is, which I guess you could say that about some TV shows too. But like sometimes it'll take Goku and Vegeta 2 episodes to just throw a punch at each other, and I'm just like, man, like. Ain't nobody got time for that, right? So, but Friday Night Lights, Coach Taylor was amazing. Like that guy was like, the way he coached, the way he was like a dad, like all that was cool. I mean, Full Hearts, what was it? Full Hearts,
Clear eyes,
Full Hearts can't lose, right? Like, oh, that was so epic. The characters on there, Michael B. Jordan, Smash, what was his name? Eric or Tate? I can't remember his name, but what was his name?
Was it Taylor?
Was it Taylor?
That's the coach's name, right?
Taylor. Oh yeah, Taylor was.
I think Taylor, right?
It wasn't. I watched it.
Oh, Tim Riggins. That's the guy I was thinking of.
Oh,
Tim Riggins. But yeah, so I watched this show 2 times. I think it's an amazing like sports show. It's cool too because like in like old school like Texas too, so it kind of shows like the Texas football part of it. So yeah, I mean the clean sweep, Friday Night Lights, baby. Yeah. So there.
And again, the viewers, I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan. There's actually a new Dragon Ball Z movie that just came out like last month, and me and one of my friends watched it like opening night. So again, I'm still very into
Why you gotta defend yourself?
I'm just letting people know anime representation. Go out there and watch some animes. Speaking of football shows, real quick before we get on with the bracket, have y'all seen Blue Mountain State at all?
That's like
heard
the
about
funny one, right?
Is that
Yeah, it's
Brandon?
like a comedy. It's so stupid. No, it's old.
Oh,
It's so
okay.
stupid, but I love it because it's just one of those things you really don't think about.
That reminds me of the League. Like I feel like the League and Blue
Oh,
Mountain
yeah,
State is kind of same humor, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
League was funny.
All right, we got the next one here. Everybody loves Raymond and The Office.
So this is a hard one. I do think the rankings a little bit off. I think the Office should be a little bit higher. That's just my opinion. So I love both these TV shows. I will say that. Everybody loves Raymond. Classic. It's a show that, like I was saying before, I didn't have cable, and so this is one of the top shows that would always come on TV right when I get home or in the evening time or whatever. Right. I love the dynamic with him and his wife. Because I was always wondering, like, why do they always bicker? Why do they always fight with you? It doesn't make any sense. And then like he has this relationship with his brother, and his older brother's just like always like pissed off or sad that Raymond got all these like benefits in life or whatever. And then his parents live across the street. It's like literally so many things going on in one show, but to me it's hilarious. I will say this: if you guys know about the history of Everyone Loves Raymond, like it's kind of sad in a lot of ways because a lot of those, like some of the kids have passed away. All the older grandpa, the parents had passed away now. I mean, it's been a long time. But that being said, I don't know why I said that part, but great show. Office obviously is a killer. Michael Scott, Dwight, Jim, Pam. That love between Jim and Pam is television history. Some of the best jokes I've ever heard in my life. Some of the greatest sayings. That's what she said became a global phenomenon. Obviously there's jokes in that show that no one can ever replicate in any other show today because they'll get canceled. But The Office was able to accomplish something that a lot of shows wish they could do today, but they can't. So that being said, I love both shows, but I'm gonna go with the one, the only. If you have to take all shots, or what's the quote? You miss 100% of shots you don't take. Michael Scott, The Office, put me down.
All right, so this might be a little biased as well. I really didn't watch Everyone Loves Raymond. Was it on local channels?
Yeah, it was on
UPN,
channel
right?
33. Was it UPN or was it WB?
Oh, I thought it was UPN.
Oh, it could be either.
I think this bracket's a little biased because, again, I mean, I had local channels, but I also had cable. So a lot of the
So rich.
better shows I watched. So some of these other shows, I was like, I'm not really that into Everyone Loves Raymond, or it doesn't really interest me that much. I didn't watch it. I know about the show. And Office, I know, is also on local channels, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Office was on local channels, I think. I don't remember.
So I didn't watch it initially when it came out on TV. I know, like, I had friends in high school that would always talk about it. I watched it actually when they brought it to Netflix. I didn't watch it at all before that. So I actually watched Parks and Rec first, and then I was like, hey, let me try The Office. And I'm glad I watched it in that order, because if I watched The Office first and then Parks and Rec, I don't think I would have liked Parks and Rec, because The Office is such a great show. Just, Michael Scott. I mean, of course, all these sitcoms, I feel like they all start slow. But then once you know to learn and love the characters, every single one is hilarious, right? So from the main cast, from Michael Scott to Dwight to Jim, to even the minor characters, right? Kevin, we have Creed, we have Phyllis. Every single one brought their own humor. And again, we go back to the Spurs and Cavaliers analogy, right? This is kind of the Spurs team, but they perfected that formula. They were like that well-oiled, like let's say the 2014 Spurs, when they just destroyed the Miami Heat. They would just kind of, that's perfect basketball. This is perfect sitcom television, and every single sitcom after The Office has tried to replicate the magic that The Office has, whether it's Parks and Rec, whether it's Brooklyn Nine-Nine, whether it's Superstore, whether it's The Good Place. So all of these shows try to replicate the magic that The Office created, and a lot of them have come close, but I don't think anyone has come as close as The Office. So point to The Office.
No, The Office is amazing. Like I also didn't watch it live on TV, and I watched it during like the COVID time and watched it on Netflix. I just love in general just binge watching shows. Like I hate like waiting like a week for the next episode to come, but that's a whole different conversation. But Office, man, like at first I was like, this is stupid. Like I feel like it's just all whack. People are just laughing at all this stupid stuff. But I watched it and I was like, damn, like Michael Scott is amazing. You love Jim and Pam's like this relationship, and Dwight's stupid, but it's just so funny. And like just all the ways that they bring, like, you guys were saying, like these different characters and bring all their humor together and make it mesh well. Like that's like just really impressive that they were able to do that. But I mean, everybody loves Raymond. I watched it, but I'm not gonna lie, it always came on after I feel like my favorite show that was on local channel. So I was also a local channel boy. I wasn't like this rich guy over here. But I think so. King of Queens was my favorite show. I know it's coming later in the bracket, but I think it always came on after King of Queens. And I think because of that, I was like, oh, F this show. Like I never really gave it a chance. So for me, the undisputed champion, one of the front runners for the tournament championship, I think I'm going to give it to The Office.
Okay. Hey, let me say,
so
I'll be honest. To me, you guys don't look like TV show like people. Like, and
what does that mean?
I say this as a compliment because you guys don't look like TV people. Like, I look like a TV person, like a couch potato. But like you guys don't seem like TV people. If that, like, I'm saying this in a compliment. I'm not dissing anyone. Okay,
I'm straightly dissed.
You guys look like y'all read a lot more than you watch TV. So.
That's a diss.
No, that's a good thing. I wish I was reading more. So.
Are you calling us nerds?
No, you guys. I don't know why. For me, I'm I'm impressed how you guys like talking about the shows. I was like, wow, okay, you guys TV people.
Do you not know us?
I don't know you. Just don't know.
When have you ever seen us read a book?
In Sunday school.
Do any of our friends read?
Yeah, I don't think any of us really read. I mean, hey, to all the viewers out there, continue reading. If you read it, read. Please suggest some books to us too.
Yeah, recommend some books to us too. Yeah. But I was gonna say too, it's crazy that these two are sweeps. Like that's pretty crazy. All right, this is a big one. This is probably the prime matchup of round one. So let's jump into this one. Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad.
So I'm gonna be pretty quick on this one. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. I've never seen Game of Thrones in my life, but I've only seen one scene in Game of Thrones, and that's when some dude was saying how like he wants to be the king of gold or something like that. So they like hold this other guy down and he goes, "Oh, you want to be the king of gold?" Apparently, another person like pours this like gold, like melted gold on top of this guy's head and like burns him alive with the gold or whatever. And he says, "Now you're the king." I don't know. Maybe I'm like paraphrasing this. You guys remember what I'm talking about?
That's Daenerys's brother, I think, and that's when spoilers. Yeah. But that's when I think they killed him, and then like she was like watching, I think.
Yeah, that was the most graphic thing I've ever seen. I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I just switched it off. So I'll be honest, I've never seen. I know what's it about. I know all the jokes and winter's coming and the snow people and whatever is crap.
It's not funny.
Yeah, I know all the things.
It's very serious.
I know like all the dragons flying everywhere.
Why do you keep doing this?
I don't know. So I know the show. I'm sure most of the viewers out there are probably thinking Game of Thrones should be a lot higher ranking wise. I'm gonna give my vote to Breaking Bad because I love the show. I love Bryan Cranston. I love the other guy. I thought it was a really cool. Like I love how his transformation from like just a regular teacher to like a true gangster throughout the show, and how he just continued to carry that on and continue to build that character. So I think that was a pretty cool show. I love the breakdown of it. So I will give it to Breaking Bad. But hey, kudos to Game of Thrones. I feel like it's a huge fan base. So.
Kudos to Game of Thrones. Shut up.
The dragons flying around.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those things where on paper it looks like, man, this is going to be a crazy, crazy matchup. But when you go really into it, kind of, show by show, it's really not even that close. Again, I've watched both of these shows to completion. Again, both of them shows out there were kind of going on live. So I got that week to week that, people were discussing, people were talking about it. I remember with Game of Thrones, I was in PA school and we had watch parties. We would go to one of our friends' house. We would bring like wine, we'd have charcuterie night. And we would just watch Game of Thrones like back to back weeks. And it was something to look forward to every single week. Breaking Bad, I remember I was in college when that last kind of season came out and it was crazy as well. Game of Thrones, the first, I think there were 6 seasons total. The first 5 seasons were great. And then at the end, they just dropped the ball, right? That was probably one of the worst last seasons of TV that I've ever seen in my life. They did such a good, there were so many kind of loose ends that I feel like still remain loose. There was such a great buildup with the White Walkers, and again, I feel like they just kind of killed them like that, right? So it's just like one episode, and they were just all gone. Breaking Bad from start to finish. Again, it was a slow burn at first, but that show, you got invested in every single character from Walt to Hank to Jesse Pinkman. So it was such a great show, and the ending was amazing. But again, that's one of those shows where it's more about the journey than the destination. Again, the destination was amazing, but that whole journey throughout was awesome. And again, Breaking Bad is probably one of my favorite, if not most favorite show of all time. So definitely I'm going to give it to Breaking Bad, so you can put a point there. But just a side note, both of these shows apparently have very good sequels. House of Dragons is kind of going on right now on HBO. Now, from what I hear, it's amazing. Whereas Game of Thrones has a bunch of different storylines. I think House of Dragons is just one storyline, who is going to be the king, things like that. Breaking Bad sequel, Better Call Saul, people are saying it's just as good as Breaking Bad. So that makes me want to go back and watch it. And I probably will get around to it. I think the final season just ended. So I think this is probably the best time to do a rewatch if y'all haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I think that's on Netflix too. I think, right? Better Call Saul. But yeah, I think both shows I got to binge during COVID time, or I guess no, Game of Thrones I watched it recently, but I didn't watch it live. I watched it all at once, and I'm one of those guys that do that. But both of these shows, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think I was gonna like them, but I started watching them and I was hooked on both of them. Right, Game of Thrones took a little bit longer, and Game of Thrones is just crazy. Like there were so many things. So I think what I liked about Game of Thrones is that the storyline was so hard to predict. Like the main guy that everybody liked, I forgot his name, but he's like the dad of Jon Stark, and like he died like first season, spoilers, and then his son with another lady who's also like this big character, he dies, spoilers, and then his wife dies the same episode, like everybody's just dying, so you just don't even know. Jon Stark dies, spoilers, like, and I thought I remember when he died, I was so sad because I just drew so much to him, like I just loved his character, and then he comes back, so spoilers there too. There's a lot of spoilers in this part, but like Stan was saying, it just ended so bad. Like it could have been so much more dramatic and cool and really just like honored the show really well, and they didn't do that. But with Breaking Bad, like Walter was the main guy, right? That was Bryan Cranston.
Walter White.
Yeah, Walter White. Like it was just like that one. It took a few episodes, but when you got hooked, I was hooked on the whole way. And I loved like how he became like a kind of a villain, and then like just the way he was doing different things. And then at the end, like I feel like him and like Jesse Pinkman kind of got a chance to like restore their relationship a little bit, because they had their moments where they hated each other. And so I just like the way it ended. And I think even parts of it, like they just did such a good job. So yeah, another sweep, y'all. I mean, I love Game of Thrones. I think it's a great show, but I got to give it to Breaking Bad too. So let me give it over there.
That we do it.
All right, y'all. We got 4 more in this round. So let's jump into another big matchup. So this is, I mean, Friends is like what, the 90s or early 2000s sitcom of the century. Then How I Met Your Mother is probably the 2010s like sitcom of the century. So I think this is another juicy matchup. So Eb, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Chris. This is definitely a juicy matchup for sure. I will start off with saying How I Met Your Mother, it should be called I Hate the Show, because I hate How I Met Your Mother. I think Ted is one of the stupidest characters in television history. Like him, he's like always just looking for love. Like I know all of us are, and who isn't looking for love, but at the same time, Ted just seems so like dorky. Like it just, like I will say this, I forgot Marshall and Lily. I really enjoyed those two characters. I think their love was nice on television. I thought they were funny. I obviously love Barney. I think he was a cool character. He's legendary in television history. I think he was one of the first people I actually saw on TV wear a suit at a bar. Like you don't really see that in real life, where people wearing suits, and like he was always about it, and I always liked that about him. But like, I don't know, I just never cared for Robin. I never cared for Ted. I watched the whole thing because I think I was kind of, I don't know if the word is addicted, but I was kind of used to just watching it every week in college, and so I just kept watching that. So yeah, Friends, obviously. a global phenomenon, one of the greatest TV shows ever made in history, one of the top shows in the world. Everyone loves Friends. Everyone knows Friends. Everyone could quote at least one saying from Friends, right? Like, hey, how you doing? So with that being said, Friends, I love every single one of these characters. I feel like I connect with each one of them. I love Ross and Rachel, obviously. I love Joey and Chandler, Phoebe, Monica. I thought everyone was such cool characters. So my vote goes to the greatest show of all time. That's Friends.
Ooh, a bold
Great show of all
there.
time. Wow.
Yes, sir.
The Gasot.
Yeah.
The Soat.
Out of all the matches in the first round, this is probably the one that's going to cause, a lot of strife between, I think, ourselves and the Backrow Boy community when they're seeing kind of these kind of teams go head to head in the first round. How I Met Your Mother is probably one of my favorite, sitcoms or kind of comedies of all time as well. Friends, actually, y'all may be disappointed to hear. I really didn't watch it growing up. When it came back on Netflix, I tried to watch it from the beginning, and that very first season, I feel like it's not aged well. Because I watched like the first 2-3 episodes, and I fell asleep during each one. I tried to stay awake but it was just so boring. Like I didn't connect with the characters. I would watch like random episodes here or there when they're on TV. And those random episodes are hilarious. I really didn't know the characters. It was like, oh, who's Phoebe? Who's I don't even know the rest of the characters' names, right? But Joel, is that one of the characters' names?
No, that's Joey. Joel's our friend. Our friend's name is Joel.
Man, but I loved, I think who made How Much Your Mother was Barney. The funny thing is he's such a womanizer, but it's crazy. He's played by Neil Patrick Harris, who doesn't like women at all, right? So it's just kind of funny to kind of see him play that role. But again, I love the characters. I love Lily and Marshall. I feel like that's the epitome of what a couple should be. Again, if you haven't seen the show, they go through numerous fights. They go through, good times, bad times. But at the end of the day, they always found a way to kind of resolve and kind of make up and kind of move forward as well. So again, that's a relationship that I feel like everyone should strive to have, is a relationship like Lily and Marshall. Again, Ted, I'm not too big a fan of, and Robin, she's all right too. But again, I feel like the other three were, Lily, Marshall, and Barney. I think they kind of made that show, but every single episode was great. I think this show also kind of had the fault of Game of Thrones, where the first seasons were amazing. First, 8-9 seasons. That last season was garbage. Like they shouldn't even have put that last season in there. But again, unlike Game of Thrones, that last season didn't ruin the rest of the show. You could have left it off at, when he met the mom, and that would have been the perfect ending. So I'm gonna have to give mine to How I Met Your Mother and let Chris be the tiebreaker in the decisive battle.
Nice, another tiebreaker, game 3 in the series. So, man, both of you had good points. I'm not gonna lie, I also have not watched Friends all the way.
Oh my God!
I've heard a lot of great things. I know Joey's funny. How you doing, all that stuff. Rachel and Ross, I think Ross is actually a really funny guy too. Chandler is kind of annoying to me, and Phoebe is annoying, but I feel like she has her moments where she's funny. But to me, so this might be kind of controversial, but I feel like Friends, it's one of those shows that you can just jump into and watch. And I feel like there's no really story behind it. Like, I don't understand, like, from the beginning to the end, what the whole point of the show. I feel like it's just like a funny show, but like, I guess it seemed like it was like Ross and Rachel getting together. It seemed like that's what it was all about. But I feel like with How I Met Your Mother, there was like, yeah, same thing, like Ted finding his mom too. But I guess I feel like, or his wife, yes, not his mom. That's weird. But I feel like the humor and like the creativity that they had to me stood out a little bit more than Friends. And I feel like, yeah, Ted had his parts where he was annoying, but I like Ted. I thought he complemented well with Barney, especially like their friendship, and then Marshall too. Like them three together was like a good way to kind of go about it. And then obviously like Barney was amazing, Marshall was funny, really big characters too. But just the storyline went so well. And yeah, like the ending wasn't the greatest, but they just it was just such a good, funny show to me, and like lighthearted, one of those shows that you can watch in the background. And I got to give it to them, man. I got to give it to How I Met Your Mother. So that's going to be the winner here.
Wow.
Sorry,
what an upset.
Round. That's great.
Yeah, that's a crazy upset.
I know they lost in the first round.
Yeah, Backrow community is not going to be happy with us.
Oh, no.
Who cares?
Oh, goodness. All right, let's get into this next one. This is a very interesting matchup. Some might say very lopsided, but One Tree Hill versus Family Guy. Ebby, kick us off, bro.
Yeah, no, you made a good point. This is very unique in a lot of ways. Like I was mentioning before, I love a good sports integrated with drama and fighting, and also championship whatever match. One Tree is great. I love the story of two brothers, same dad. I felt like funny, like it was crazy, the writing behind all of it. And then they had a cool Uncle Keith. Hey, RIP. If you haven't seen it, Keith is obviously dead in the show, but no, One Tree was great, man. I love the Peyton and Lucas dynamic. I love the Haley Nathan dynamic. That's always fun. Who would have thought Nathan would turn from a asshole to a good guy? So it was kind of a cool situation. I thought it was a great show. Family Guy, man, it's like one of those shows. I feel like you can jump in any time and you can just watch an episode and just laugh. It definitely can get a little raunchy, a little graphic. But I always thought it was funny. I think they definitely pushed the envelope. And so for me, even though this is kind of hard because I'll randomly just type in YouTube like funny Family Guy scenes and I'll just watch that. And One Tree Hill, I can only watch it up to like maybe 3 or 4 seasons. And then when they go off to college or when they come back from college, I just cannot stand it for some reason. And there's a couple of seasons where when Nathan, like after he breaks his back, and then what is it, Nanny Carrie or Carrie Nanny, whatever it's called, and Dan is back. Long story with that stuff, but I will have to give it to Family Guy. I'm gonna give my vote to Family Guy. I love the show. I love the funniness of it.
Nice. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So again, as viewers don't know, I'm the one that included Family Guy in this. Again, we need to get some animated cartoon representation in here. So Dragon Ball Z, Family Guy, the only two on here were stands truly. But again, One Tree Hill is one of those shows. If you know anything about the Backrow Boys, we talk about it all the time. I'm not sure if we talked about it in previous episodes, but outside of the podcast, we definitely talked about that, One Tree Hill. Again, like Abby said, it's one of those things. It was a CW show. So, it had kind of the drama as many CW shows do, whether it's Arrow, Flash, Pretty Little Liars. One Tree Hill. It had the drama, but it also had something else to kind of keep everyone else entertained, right? One Tree Hill was the basketball, Flash and Arrow had the superhero stuff. So there's always something for kind of both sides, whether males or females, to kind of get both invested. One Tree Hill was such a great show, and Ebby, and I'm sure Chris will go into a lot more detail here in a little bit. Family Guy, I think that's probably one of my favorite animated comedy. So again, I'm not a big fan of Rick and Morty. Simpsons, I actually never grew up on. I know a lot of my friends love Simpsons. I hate Simpsons. I was always Team Family Guy. I love Peter. I love Stewie. I love Brian, Lois, Meg. Meg is played by Mila Kunis, who's on That 70s Show. So fun fact. But again, as Chris said, this is probably going to be a lopsided, round. And I agree with Chris. It's going to be lopsided because I'm going Family Guy as well.
Oh, there you go.
Well. All right. Well,
not what you predicted, Chris, huh?
Yeah, I was definitely thinking lopsided the other way, but that's how the tournament flows, right? It's no one knows what's gonna happen. So for me, many people probably know this. Many people probably don't. I'm a huge One Tree Hill fan. Like, if I feel like it defined my college experience and my high school experience. Like, I feel like I looked up to Lucas and Nathan like they were my own brothers. But I love the show, the basketball aspect of it. I watched the show, I think, at least 4 times through. And like Abby said, like towards the end, those episodes weren't the greatest. And I feel like they could have done a better job with finishing that too. But just the characters and like the drama, like it was fun to watch. It's just, I don't know. It was cool to see and like how they kind of tied some sports into it, but you just really drew to the characters. But Family Guy, I'm going to give it to One Tree Hill, but Family Guy is a great, funny, like animated sitcom, whatever show, right? Like Peter is hilarious, like the different ways that they bring humor into it. They bring like stupid, like random, like sides, like it'll be like a random scene and something. And it's just so funny. Like Family Guy is hilarious. I think Peter, out of all of the funny, like cartoon characters, he's got to be number one. He's probably the Michael Jordan of, funny characters. Sorry, I know Homer's up there too for some people, but I think Peter takes that spot. So I'm gonna give it to One Tree Hill, even though.
Can I say one thing about One Tree Hill? One of the greatest episodes was the obviously the high school shooting one. Like, dude, that episode got me like so sad, and it felt so real because obviously during that time, the reason they made that episode because it was happening it was so often that a high school shooting or school shooting was happening, and we're seeing it today too. But that episode in One Tree Hill was so powerful, like with his pain and what he was going through. And then obviously, like, later on in the episode, it turns that Dan shoots his own brother. And it's like no one knows about that until later on in the season and stuff like. But it's one of those. The first 3 or 4 seasons was amazing of that show. But
yeah, I forgot about that. But that's an amazing episode. And then just the way like it connected, especially with what was just happening in the world too. Like so good. All right, let's get to King of Queens and Power Rangers. So this is another very interesting matchup. So Abby, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, no, I like this matchup a lot, but I have a lot of connections to this. So I'll say this. So Power Rangers, obviously something I grew up with. I was addicted to the Rangers growing up. I was myself a former Red Ranger for a long time, but I love that show. I love everything about it. I love the suits, the helmets. Man, for when I was younger, I would crave to have a helmet. And then a long time ago, when Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was going on, McDonald's had like those like Happy Meal toys, and those toys were the morphers. And me and Toby had like 3 of those morphers and the power coins and everything. It was just amazing. So we love Power Rangers. The crazy thing is, my mom always tells me the first word I ever said was Power Rangers. And so yeah,
those 2 words.
Yeah, I guess the 2 words. But I love the show. I followed Power Rangers all the way until before Wild Force. So it's like I think I watched it for like 8 or 9 seasons. I don't know what it was, but love the show. King of Queens to me is one of the funniest shows out there. Doug, Heffernan, Carrie, Arthur, these guys, this family is one of the greatest. And I will say this, I recently signed up for Peacock for like a couple months or 1 month or 2 months or whatever. And I watched the entire 9 seasons of King of Queens in this past month. So I know every episode, like I just watched all of it. And dude, it's still one of the funniest shows out there. So this one's really hard for me because it pulls the heartstrings a little bit for me. But if I had to pick one, oh my God, I'm gonna have to go with Power Rangers.
Wow, dang! I thought it was gonna go the other way. All right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know which way you're gonna go.
Dang! Spoiler for the first game.
Chris, you want to go? I'm still thinking of this one.
Yeah, I can go. Oh, shit, this is a hard one. So I love Power Rangers. Like Abby said, like I was a former Ranger as well. The Green Ranger, came in, and then I took over as the White Ranger. So a lot of importance in my role. But I'm just kidding. Power Rangers, but Power Rangers is so like I don't know. As a kid, it just had all the things that you cared about, like fighting and like team aspect. It was I don't know all this. Like there was just so much action and excitement in that. And I loved how I think they did a good job of like making like new seasons and new like like outfit or not outfits but like new like suits and new like Zords and all that. Like that was cool. And new characters, and they brought back old characters, so that was awesome. But King of Queens, like it's a good show. Like I think it's really underrated. Like Doug is so funny. Like he killed it with his role. Him and Carrie had such a good dynamic. Doug's Carrie's dad, Doug's best friends. Like they all did such a good job. But man, I mean, I love King of Queens. Like I mentioned before, everybody loves Raymond. I would watch King of Queens, and I loved it so much. But Power Rangers has such a like hold on my heart that I have to give it to them. I have to give it to the Power Rangers. So
oh wow,
they get my vote.
Actually, so it was. I don't know why I skipped it to you because it's an easy one for me too. I think this goes back to me not watching too much local channels, and because I had cable. Of course, I know Power Rangers was on the local channel, but I feel like it was on Toonami on Cartoon Network as well. So I watch a lot of Power Rangers. I watch the Power Rangers Saturday morning cartoons all the time. King of Queens, I really didn't watch too much. So again, I don't have that strong connection. Again, y'all are making me want to go back and watch it because of how great it sounds. So again, this one's going to be easy pick for me. It's going to be Power Rangers, easy sweep. But again, definitely, I'm going to go back and watch Power Rangers or King of Queens just because of what you guys have said about it.
No, and Stan, I think you should like kind of, but it's like the cool thing about these types of shows, these King of Queens and Everyone Loves Raymond and How I Met Your Mother, it's like 20-minute sitcom, so it's not gonna like ruin your day. It's not gonna like take up your day, and you can kind of jump in right before you go to bed. So that's the cool thing about the show. It's just a funny way to kind of end your day or start your day or whatever you want to call it. So
yeah, it's a good background show. So definitely recommend it. All right, the last matchup in the first round. So we got Boy Meets World and George Lopez. So
I know this was randomized, but I would like to say the ranking is definitely off. I think George Lopez should be 2, should be lower, and then Boy Meets World should be a little bit higher. But anyways, that being said, George Lopez, hilarious guy. I loved all his little sound bites, his little like quirks about him, his little like tendencies and stuff. I love the family concept. I loved his mom. I don't know if you guys watch this, but like George Lopez's mom was like super gangster. Like she was just like, she was drinking all the time. She was just like, she wasn't like the greatest mom, but she was like funny as hell. So I always liked that dynamic. And then the cool thing is this. So for me growing up, I never saw anybody that looked like us on TV. So the closest people was the George Lopez family, like the Lopez family. I love their theme song. That song, when I hear it, I think about George Lopez right away. So that connection is always fun. Boy Meets World. So like we were mentioning, Stan had, so rich and had cable, but me and Chris didn't have cable. That random times, I think Chris, your family had cable for a little bit, and you guys would record certain shows. So I think I would borrow Chris's VHS tapes and take it home, and I'd watch old episodes of Boy Meets World, because I still remember Corey's wedding and how Eric was trying to like attack Topanga and stuff like that. Those episodes are still in my head like all the time, and I had to still think about like the Halloween episodes of Boy Meets World and stuff like that. Like I love the Corey, Sean, I loved Eric, I love Feeney. Topanga was like a childhood crush for me. Just like the Pink Power Ranger, like those girls were like, oh, I was like, man, these girls are so pretty. And so both great shows. Boy Meets World, I love that. I love all like the life lessons. And I feel like a lot of these shows that we picked gives a lot of life lessons. Maybe you can say that about a lot of the TV shows. But that being said, great shows. But I'm gonna go with Boy Meets World. So Eric Matthews, Corey Matthews, and obviously I wear the Matthews too. So kind of goes.
Man, I think this is another tough one because both of these shows, they're very similar but unique in their own ways. Yeah. I feel like Boy Meets World, I guess that's exactly what it is. It's Boy Meets the World. It's about a boy kind of learning about the world, learning about kind of what to do, what not to do, kind of the lessons you learn in school. Feeney was one of those kind of mentors. And I think you realize at the end, initially Corey's like, oh, Feeney's so annoying, blah, 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 blah. But then at the end, like you respect all the lessons that Feeney has ever taught him, and he kind of understands that too. So the ending of that show was so sad, but it was like heartwarming because it's like you're growing up as well, and then like they're leaving you as well. George Lopez was kind of the opposite. I know they had its life lessons, but it was more comedy than kind of life lessons. And I love George Lopez. Again, like you were saying, Abby, it's a dun, 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 and that always stuck in my head. And they're jumping, and you see everyone. I still vividly remember exactly what's going on there. Man, but between these two shows, I feel like it's just preference. I mean, they're both such great shows. One's more real and one's more funny. I think I'm gonna let Chris kind of be the deciding factor on this one. I think I'm gonna go with George Lopez because again, both of these shows are so great, but I just want to see some drama and see what Chris picks.
Oh, damn, yeah, you definitely made my choice a lot harder. I like both shows too. Boy Meets World, I grew up on it, loved, like Corey, Sean, Topanga, like them going from being little kids to being older. Even Mouth was on it, who was I forgot what his name was back then, but it's crazy to see him on that and then be on One Tree Hill. Minkus, yeah. Oh man, seeing him as that little kid, and then like the parents were cool, like Eric and who's Eric's best friend? I forgot that guy's name.
Sean?
No,
that's Sean's brother.
Jack.
What was Zach? Yeah, that guy was cool.
Jack.
Oh yeah, Jack was cool. Like that guy just seemed like a cool guy. George Lopez, yeah, it's just like George Lopez, like he was a superstar. Like he made that show. Like everything about that show was him, right? And I thought it was cool because they brought in like different like actors and stuff, like, like random, like, sports celebrities, random other actors were in there, actresses. So they did a cool job with that. But yeah, I mean, it didn't have that like life aspect of it, but I liked George Lopez because it had like a different style of humor. Like it was more like, I guess, like a minority humor, like where it was like, you're like, I don't know, it just seemed different. Like Boy Meets World, it seemed very, I don't know, just some of the jokes seem kind of scripted and kind of like old school almost, but they're very close. But I think I got to give Boy Meets World the edge just because it has the humor and then also has like that buildup of the characters and then like that life aspect. So I think I got to give it to Boy Meets World to end off the first round. So,
hey,
man.
Wow. Chris, should we do the Feeny call? Feeny!
Fine, fine, fine.
Mr. Finney. All right, y'all. So we're in the round two. A lot of good shows didn't make it, and a lot of good shows did make it. So I've enjoyed it. It's fun to see like what people have watched growing up and what people haven't. So let's jump into the first round. Let's actually start from the bottom. I know we just talked about Boy Meets World and talked about Power Rangers, but let's just, let's go back up this way and kind of go. Let's see what y'all think. So.
All right. Well, hey, I'm excited that we're in this next round. But so these two shows, Power Rangers and Boy Meets World, pretty much made the 90s, especially if you're like us three who grew up in the 90s. Like these are one of the top popular shows out there. Man, this is so tough. You guys know the love I have for Power Rangers, the life lessons I learned for Boy Meets World. I'm going to keep it simple, guys. I'm going to go with Boy Meets World.
Yeah, like you were saying, Abby, I think these two shows are the epitome of the 90s. Again, for the viewers, if you haven't watched our 90s episode in season 1, go back and watch it. It's a good watch. It's a good watch. This is a very, very tough decision. Both Boy Meets World and Power Rangers kind of taught us lessons in different ways. Boy Meets World, like real lessons, and then Power Rangers, never give up. Hustle, loyalty, respect. I think that might be John Cena. Yeah, actually, this is tough. I don't know who to pick. My heart wants to say Power Rangers, because I want to see them go. But I think I'm gonna have to go with Boy Meets World on this one. I think the life lessons that Boy Meets World teaches just kind of gives it that edge over Power Rangers. But shout out to Power Rangers.
I actually would give my vote to Power Rangers just because, Boy Meets World is cool, but like when I think about like, Power Rangers, like I always randomly think about like just random episodes or think about like just how iconic that was in my childhood. So I think for me, Power Rangers means more, but I don't argue with you guys. We're picking Boy Meets World.
No, so. And I don't blame you, man. Power Rangers, that was a hard one for sure. That was definitely a hard one.
That's a tough one. And it's crazy that they were both the 90s and such like, iconic shows in the 90s. So that's kind of cool to see that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
obviously you guys know I hate How I Met Your Mother. I think overall is a terrible show. Like, dude, the last couple seasons, it was just so like fast. Like it's like, he met his mother at a train station, and then she's dead, and then it became Robin, and and then it goes back to the blue
spoilers.
Yeah, the blue trumpet or whatever. I'm like, this how it's all ended.
Purple trumpet, right?
Purple, blue.
Oh, is it blue?
I thought it was blue, but Chris, can you remember?
It's blue. It's blue.
Yeah. I'm gonna give my vote to Family Guy. Like what JS keeps saying, cartoon representation. We're all about it on the show.
Man, this is actually a real tough one because I love How I Met Your Mother. And Family Guy is, again, cartoon animated representation. You got to give it there. I still think it's GOAT tier. It's still going on too. That's a crazy thing. I think I watched like a random episode. Yeah, Simpsons still has no episodes, I believe, too. Yeah, so they just keep churning them out, right? So this is a very, very tough one because, again, How I Met Your Mother, I remember the way I watched it, it was on Netflix. So I remember I had my like iPhone like 3 or like 3G, and I had Netflix on my phone. And every night before bed, I would just have it and kind of like look at it and watch like 4 or 5 episodes before going to sleep. And then that's how I watched How I Met Your Mother. And Family Guy, same thing with you, Abby. I would just watch random clips. Like if I'm feeling down or sad, I'll put out a Family Guy episode. And Peter always makes me laugh. This is stupid shit he does. So in this situation, man, this is tough. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm giving the nod to Family Guy. Family Guy is advancing to that next round.
Wow, man. Well, I disagree with both of y'all. I would actually pick How I Met Your Mother just because I watched it so much. I loved the characters, but I understand like Family Guy is so funny. It deserves to go in the next round, but How I Met Your Mother, Yeah, it's just a good show. So
Dang, I did not think that was gonna happen. I really thought How I Met Your
I know.
Mother was gonna go.
I thought How
I
Much Your
thought
Mother was going to advance too, but then my mind switched. I was like, man, like I gotta get Family Guy. Like I enjoy Family Guy so much.
Well, if you
yeah,
guys,
Family Guy is so good.
yeah, if you look at the next round is Family Guy and Boy Meets World. Can you guys imagine if it was How I Met Your Mother and Boy Meets World? That would have been difficult for both of y'all. So
Yeah. That's like I guess it's a little bit more even, but it would have been funny to see How I Met Your Mother all the way in the finals and Abby keep on like picking against it.
I was like, oh hell no, I don't think of that.
That'd have been funny. But ooh, this one's gonna be hard. So this is
Ooh.
The Office
Yeah.
versus Breaking Bad.
This is
I
definitely.
think this one could be a finals matchup. Like this
Yeah.
should have been a finals matchup. I feel like.
This is like a Super Bowl match right here. So for me, I'm always gonna I love both shows. But for me, if I had 20 minutes, I'm gonna always go with a comedy. It just makes me feel better. Especially when I'm eating like lunch, dinner, whatever. I always like to have a funny show in the background. Like I don't want to pay too much attention. I just want in the background. My vote goes to the greatest of all time. Michael Scott, Jim Halpert, Dwight, The Office.
Yeah, I think this one it's the battle of what you're in the mood for, right? So if you're in the mood for a comedy, hey, this is what you go with, right? I think the nice thing about The Office is it doesn't matter how many times you watch it. It's that type of show where you can watch a random episode, laugh, even though you know exactly what's going to happen, right? I feel the thing about Breaking Bad is if you go in blind and have no idea what's going to happen, it's probably the best experience that you can ever get, right? So again, going back for a rewatch is not as meaningful when you know kind of the whole storyline. So of course, rewatching The Office, it has more replay value, but I think just critically acclaimed, what hits you the hardest and what's the better show, I got to give it to Breaking Bad. I think, again, Breaking Bad is one of my favorite shows of all time. So again, I could easily see Office if this was a different universe. Office would be my pick, and it would go to the finals and win the championship. But again, for this one, I think I'm gonna have to go with Breaking Bad.
Dang. Okay.
Damn. That's crazy. Yeah. Finally, it comes down to my vote to see which TV show is going to the next round. So
with Juggernaut.
two dynamic, epic shows. So yeah, I guess it's just preference, right? Like, what do you like to watch? Both are good in its own way. Damn, this is so hard because they're so good. Like Office, like I still watch Office randomly, like during the week and stuff. Breaking Bad, I'm not gonna watch it, but like when I think back about Breaking Bad, I'm so glad that I spent that time like investing in it and seeing like that storyline, But damn, I think I'm gonna go with. Just kidding. I'm gonna go with The Office. I just feel like
nice.
I feel like it's just what Michael Scott did with that show and those characters. Like it's too good to get a second round exit. So that was spoilers. But
and if you got it, like you said it perfectly, Chris. Like what Michael Scott or Steve Carell did with that show, the first 7 seasons. Because the moment he left, it wasn't. I mean, I'm not saying it was terrible, but there was a different flow to it. It wasn't as great, So
yeah, no, I agree. Okay, last one of the second round. So it's been a minute since we talked about these two, but Fresh Prince and Friday Night Lights.
Man, hey, 2 great shows, great life lessons. I mean, even like the way these shows ended, like remember Fresh Prince, the last scene, he like cuts off the lights in the mansion. He's just like standing there and he's like saying, thank you. Like to me, shows like these with these like huge meanings, huge life moments, like when it ends, it kind of breaks you a little bit, like kind of brings you that sadness, whatever. I'm gonna go with Fresh Prince. Because if I don't go with, I feel like Will Smith's gonna slap me in the face. Too soon.
Oh no.
But hey, gotta support Fresh Prince, 90s, top juggernaut show.
Yeah, our first episode was our first episode was about Will Smith's slap. Isn't that crazy?
Oh yeah, it's crazy, right?
How far we come, right? Yeah, Fresh Prince of Friday Night Lights. Again, Friday Night Lights probably the #1 sports TV show of all time. I think we can all kind of attest to that. Fresh Prince is probably the best 90s show kind of out of all the shows that we've talked about. Definitely, I think when somebody says, hey, think of a 90s show, Fresh Prince comes to my mind. Will Smith comes to my mind. There's so many other shows too, but Fresh was so kind of iconic. And shout out to my boy Carlton. He goes underrated. Again, we think about Friday Night Lights as a sports show, but don't forget Fresh Prince was all a sports show too. I don't know if y'all remember that episode where Carlton took that half court shot. You remember he took the half court shot? He missed it wide right, but you know what? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Dan Phillip, Carlton Davis, right? I don't know what his last name is. Carlton Smith.
No,
what are their last names?
Banks.
Carlton Banks. Who's Carlton Davis? That's a football player,
right? Yeah,
that sounds like a beast.
But in regards to these two, I think I'm gonna have to go with Fresh Prince going to the next round.
Dang. Wow, I thought you were gonna pick Friday Night Lights. So my vote would have been Friday Night Lights. I think, I don't know. Man, Fresh Prince is so good, but Friday Night Lights, like finding like a good sports show like that actually focused on sports is so hard. But just the build up. But I don't fault you guys for it. Fresh Prince, Will Smith, like his career was built on this show, so it deserves to go to the next round. So
I mean, so let me bring up on the Fresh Prince, like that. Remember the basketball scenes? If you go back on these old TV shows, the basketball court itself was literally like 2 feet. Like it's like you step into the like you turn around and you're already in the other person's like goal. And because Will Smith was shooting half court shots, but it was like literally like they're so what the hell? So
those such epic basketball scenes. All right, boys, we're in the final four. Woo! We spent time going through 16 shows. We shared, we reminisced on the good and the bad of these shows. Ebby shared with us clearly how much he hates How I Met Your Mother. Stan keeps talking about these anime shows and we don't give a shit. But we're in the final four. We got
the animated shows made it. Look, we got Family Guy representation up here.
No, it did. Okay. Let's start with the bottom again. So we got Family Guy versus Boy Meets World. 90s show versus a show that's still going. Who we picking?
Dude, this is a hard one. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Number 6, number 15, Family Guy, Peter Griffin, one of the funniest guys just out there in the cartoon world. Stewie, Evil Genius, Brian the Talking Dog. Oh my goodness. So many funny jokes. Boy Meets World. I love Eric Matthews. Oh my goodness, this is really hard. You know how I sometimes choose between shows like this is that if I had to pick one show for the rest of my life kind of thing. So
that's fair.
I'm gonna go with Boy Meets World.
Ooh.
God, that was such a hard one. Dang, I think I regret it.
Yeah, this one, again, it's difficult. They're both completely different shows. These are probably the two opposite spectrums of shows that you can kind of think about. Again, the life lessons you learn from Boy Meets World. Again, Family Guy teaches some life lessons too. There's some good life lessons if you look hard enough, right? You got to look really hard, but they're in there. They're in there if you want. But again, if you want a show that makes you feel good, again, and to answer your question, Abby, if there's one show between these two that I could watch for the rest of my life, hands down, it would be Family Guy. Because I think that's one of those shows where I could put on a random episode and it would make me laugh, no matter what it is, whether it's, a random flashback that they have or just Meg getting made fun of or Stewie and Brian's adventures that they have. There's so many different storylines there. So again, I'm going to go with Family Guy in this one. Again, got to give my animated shows some representation. And if Family Guy makes it to the finals, this bracket is crazy. But I don't know. That's going to be up to Chris. We have some drama in here.
Oh my God. I think I regret my decision.
The fact that Boy Meets World made it all the way here, it just shows like how the impact of the bracket, because Game of Thrones being already gone and not even being consideration is freaking crazy. Breaking Bad being gone, One Tree Hill being gone. Friends, whatever. But down to Family Guy and Boy Meets World. I gotta give it to the show. Like you guys said, which one do you watch? Which one do you want to see? Which one entertains you? I gotta give it to the GOAT, one of the funniest anime characters of all time, Peter Griffin. And even like as Stan was bringing it up, like, Stewie, Brian, Meg, then freaking Peter's friends, like they're just so funny. Quagmire,
I'm happy. I honestly, if I can take back my vote, I'd probably go with Family Guy. I think that's a great decision, boys. So
dang, it's still crazy that Boy Meets World made it this far. Like, I mean,
yeah.
props to them. They had a good run, so they deserve all the praise and the glory.
The glory.
Honestly, like I'm surprised that like Family Guy could have easily been eliminated round 1 against One Tree Hill, but it upset One Tree Hill. Then it beat How Much Your Mother, and then like Boy Meets World, I feel like wasn't a tough matchup for it. But again, it's still crazy that it made it to the finals. That's like a Cinderella story right there.
Yeah, it really is. This bracket's man, some crazy stories in here.
With these two shows, I think these are one of the like these two top shows in pop culture, even in today's time. In 2022, how many memes do you see of The Office? How many memes do you see of Fresh Prince? It's all over our conversations. You see Carlton's dance everywhere. You see Will Smith crying in the kitchen. You see, Michael Scott saying, no, no, no. Like all the famous lines are from these two shows in our lifetime. This is a tough one for sure. Will Smith, Steve Carell, two powerful hitters, had two gunslingers. Oh my God, I don't know what to pick. I think I'm gonna give my vote to The Office.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to the basketball analogy on this one. So again, let's go all the way to 2014, 2015. We got the Cavaliers versus the Warriors. So Fresh Prince, we got LeBron James, Will Smith, he's leading, carrying that team. On the other side, we got the star-studded cast. We got Steph, we got KD, we got Jim, we got Dwight, we got Michael Scott. We got Roy. Don't forget Roy.
Oh, Roy.
Don't forget the basketball scene. There's also a whole basketball episode of The Office too, which is one of the greatest episodes of all time. But again, at the end of the day, who came out victorious? It was the Golden State Warriors star-studded offense. I'm going to give it to The Office.
Ooh, wow. In the finals, baby.
All right. Well, they're going to the finals, and I'll add my vote, even though it doesn't matter. But for me, it comes down to like Fresh Prince. Obviously, Will Smith is amazing. But when I think about Fresh Prince compared to The Office, I feel like Fresh Prince, there's like a few episodes that just stick out. Like overall, like the show has a good base of just being funny, but like the episode of Fresh Prince or Will and his dad is like a crazy, like iconic episode. There's like seeing Will Smith play basketball is cool. There's the ones where Will Smith is doing his like pickup lines. I mean, I think that spans a few episodes, but that one's funny. Him and Nia Long, I forgot her name in the show, but them getting together was cool. Them getting married. Lisa, yeah. So that one, Trevor dying, that was crazy. The shooting episode with Will and Carlton, where Carlton got shot, Will got shot. And then the ending where like it's just like the last scene with Will. So man, now as I say it, I feel like there's actually a lot of good moments in Fresh Prince.
A lot of good moments, man.
But Office is just like, I feel like its base was a little bit higher than Fresh Prince for me. Like Michael Scott and like what they did together. It's like just like even those scenes where they had the meetings and they would just talk about just stupid shit. Like Michael would try to do like an icebreaker and it was like the most unethical icebreakers ever. Like I just thought those were so funny. So I got to give it to Michael Scott. And send them to the finals.
Wow.
Man, I did not think this would be the finals. The Office versus Family Guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
this is a six seed and the 12th seed. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. Ooh, this is gonna be crazy. Okay.
Before we even start, I just want to, respect Family Guy for getting this far. I think this is one of those David versus Goliath things. So just shout out animated shows. Y'all gotta watch some more animated shows. Kind of keep them going. So. Oh,
and before we get into the finals, can I go ahead and do my honorary mentions of TV shows? So I wrote it down. So it's That 70s Show, This Is Us, Martin, Frasier, Even Stevens, The Simpsons, Sons of Anarchy, New Girl, and my favorite that I forgot to mention, Smallville.
Oh, Smallville. No. Dang. Man, you had a whole list.
Yeah, I was like writing down while we were going.
Damn. Man, yeah, I just want to take a look at this bracket. It's impressive to see these guys get here, but
I can't believe Friends didn't make it. My God. So.
Can't believe Game of Thrones didn't make it. Can't believe One Tree Hill. Man.
King of Queens didn't even
All right, let's kick it off. So the finals. Go ahead, Ebby.
All right. So God, this is definitely a Super Bowl, NBA Finals, MLB World Series type of matchup, The Office versus Family Guy. Two great shows, two graphic, two like cutting edge. Family Guy is still going on. 7 to 9 seasons of great episodes in The Office. Jeez Louise, this is a hard one. If I had to, my vote is gonna be for pretty much Peter Griffin versus Michael Scott.
Oh yeah.
Supporting cast is huge on both sides. I'm gonna go with my vote, The Office.
Boom. First game Office.
Right, yeah. So. Peter Griffin, Michael Scott, that's like LeBron and Jordan right there. So again, you really can't pick wrong going. I mean, I think you can't pick wrong, but these shows are both very, very, very iconic. Again, I don't know if y'all really liked the first season of The Office. The first season really wasn't too good. But like I was mentioning, I think when we were talking about round one, first seasons of many sitcoms aren't that good. Again, I know it's not Office versus Parks and Rec, but I truly think Parks and Rec is a better show than The Office. I think Office had better highs, but it also had lower lows. I think Parks and Rec was more kind of stable throughout, and it did have highs and lows as well, but I think Office had a lot more variance. That being said, we're not comparing Parks and Rec and The Office. We're comparing Office and Family Guy. I'm going to go with, it hurts my heart to say this, but I'm going to go with The Office. I think The Office is just on another tier of its own compared to these shows. Again, I truly don't think Family Guy deserved to get this far. It probably should have been eliminated much earlier, but I respect the battle and the determination it took to kind of get this far. You know, it didn't say no to the naysayers. It didn't say, hey, Simpsons is there, let me just take a back seat. We did what the Simpsons did, and we took a step higher, and we kept pushing and pushing and pushing. So shout out to Family Guy, shout out to Peter, my boy Joe, my boy Quagmire. Hey, Cleveland, you got your own show. We got spinoffs from American Dad, my boy Stan over there. So,
yep.
Man. Yeah, Family Guy, they were just a well-coached team. You know, they made it this far and they fought the good fight. But Office, that's just like they're the Warriors, right? Like they're like Steve Carell and his supporting cast. Just Family Guy just can't compete with them. So the sweep in the finals.
Oh, snap! 3-0.
And boom!
Well, they don't come over to the end. What kind of brand is this?
Doesn't show you. Well, we know who the champion is. Man, well, damn, that was crazy. That I did not expect. I mean, I knew Office would go towards like very deep, but I did not think Family Guy. So that was fun, y'all. Good stuff,
dude. That was a crazy one. I like that game a lot. Good job, Chris. That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're gonna, guys, to the BRB viewers, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of us just breaking down TV shows. You guys got to know a little bit about our history on our shows and how much these shows impact our lives and how we carried into those life lessons from those shows into our everyday lives. But hey, guys, continue to subscribe, continue to like, leave a comment, and continue to share these episodes with your friends and family. Guys, we're the Back Row. Thanks for continuously joining with us. And like we always say, stay safe, stay classy, and thanks for joining us in the Back Row.